The Michael Berry Show.
Danny Gianfrancesco is our guest. Danny, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Michael.
Obviously, neither you nor I were in the classroom that day. What you know from what your daughter told you. Tell me what happened prior to the moment I see on camera. I've seen the footage of his punch of her pushback, and then him begin to pummel her. Was there anything that happened prior to all of this?
Yeah, that was actually a retaliation. He had been sexually harassing her with comments for a while, and she finally told her boyfriend, and he told the kid to stop talking to his girlfriend like that, or there was going to be problems or whatever he said. I don't know. But that kid went to class, and he was angry at Brooklyn for telling her boyfriend. So he was sitting behind her, chatting away, calling her names, saying inappropriate stuff. And my daughter don't take anything from anybody, including me. And so she was arguing back, and she stood up to go use the bathroom, and he came up to her desk, and he put his chest up to her, and he was bowing up to her and yelling at her, calling her names, and acting like he was going to hit her. So she pushed him off of her, went up, got a bathroom pass, went to the bathroom. She said she was in there about 10 minutes, crying, angry, and she calmed herself down and went back to class. And what you see, she was talking to the girl in the front desk, and he walked up, and that's when the video started, is when he walked up. And so I don't know if he told the kid next to him, hey, you know, I'm going to go slap this, whatever, because he started the video right on time. And the kid walked up to her, and he slapped her. And my daughter looked at the teacher and said, are you going to do anything? Did you see this? And the teacher was worthless. And so when she turned back to the kid, she saw he was bowed up and ready to hit her. And that's that. Then you see the video.
So the video,
but not once did she hit him, swing at him. She told me the other day she just tried to close the distance so that he couldn't swing on her again. So
it was his friend who filmed this? I wondered how that came about.
Yeah, I think they might be friends, but it was another kid in the class. And he told Brooklyn that she could use the video, but I've had Channel 13 and Channel 11 wanting to talk to him, and he won't give them okay to use the video. So.
Well, I have the video, and it is, I've watched it now several times, and it is very disturbing. I think it would be a lot more disturbing if that was my daughter being punched by this punk, but
yeah.
Wow. One of the things that doesn't, intuitively cross your mind when you watch a video is to ask the question, why is that person filming? And in a case like this kid had to have some sense that something is about to happen, because he is watching the scene from what would appear to be where it all starts, because it's not like they're rolling around on the floor by the time he gets his phone out to see this. Who is the teacher? Because something needs to be done to this teacher. This is not appropriate.
Not at all. This teacher was a temporary substitute teacher that was not very temporary. He's been there all year. So I don't know what qualifications he has. I don't know if you got to go through any training to be a substitute. Apparently not.
Danny, I don't need training as a teacher to know that when two students get into it, especially when there's a size, weight, strength differential like this, that my job is to get him off of her before he kills her. I mean, every person that makes it to the age of 12 knows that.
Well, if this would have happened in my day, we would have been fighting each other to get at that guy before any of this.
Yes. If this had happened at our school, I don't care if it was the most unpopular girl and the most popular boy. I don't care if she wronged him. That kid would have been beaten to death. It would have been on. Everybody would have jumped.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, they're all sitting back going, oh, wow, oh, they're gasping, but nobody steps in to help.
Yeah. What does that say about the kids these days?
It says everything.
You know?
Okay, so then fast forward. Do they finish out that hour of the class? What class is it, by the way?
It was fifth period, I think geography.
Okay, obviously it wasn't conflict resolution.
No, no, it was not.
Okay, so the day is almost over. Do they sit through the end of the class at that point?
No, I got a call. I guess it was like 2:50, almost 3 o'clock. The school ends at like 2:35 by the assistant principal, who also was worthless in this situation. And she told me my daughter had been in a fight, and it was with a boy, and I needed to come pick her up. And, you know, you get that call, and I got 100 questions, and she wouldn't answer a single one of them. So I was on the other side of town. I had my father go pick her up, and then I came here, and she had purple, huge whelps on her forehead. Her jaw was swollen and black and blue. The back of her head was sore. Her shoulder was all messed up. And so I went in the next morning to talk to the principal. Well, the principal was not in school that day, and then they told me that she had meetings all day Thursday, so she couldn't see me till Friday. Well, I put up a little stink, but it didn't get me anywhere. So Friday, I went in and had a meeting with the assistant principal and the officer from KISD police that was there to fill out the reports. And they were not very receptive. Neither one of them had seen the video. They made the call that it was a mutual confrontation without seeing that video. I don't know what they went off of. And I tried to show it to them, and they didn't want to see it. Neither one of them would look at it.
The principal wouldn't look at it?
It was assistant principal, yeah.
Who is that?
She wouldn't look. Miss Miles, Janae Miles.
Okay.
And, yeah.
I guarantee you she had seen it before. She didn't want to see it because she knew what was on it. She didn't want to have to.
Well,
she wanted plausible.
I don't know, because this was the next morning. So,
all right, hold on just a second.
That kid.
Danny, let me ask you, there are reports that your daughter was kicked off the volleyball team after she's beat up by this black student, and then you went down and talked to them?
Yeah, I talked to 3 of the coaches, and they were going to take her out of off-season, but they were going to let her try out again next year. But they were actually going to remove her from off-season and put her in a regular PE class. And finally, one of the coaches, I guess, has some common sense, and they kept her on the team, but they want her to run and do, punishment exercises. Brooklyn said every day after school in April. But I sent a letter to the coach asking her to hold off because she just got released from concussion protocol, I guess. She was out a week after this incident. She was still having dizzy spells. But
what basis?
The kid is still on the football team.
Of course.
And he's got no
and trust me, he will stay on the football team. They will not take him off.
Well, not if I help it.
What? On what basis?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I mean, is that what they want reflecting their athletic program?
They don't care.
A predator?
Danny, I'm telling you, they don't fear you. They fear the people that would be activated if they punish that kid. That's what they fear. They live in fear of being called a racist. There's no doubt in my mind. Most people in this country do. Over 90% of people do.
Well, they should fear me because I'm not going to stop until I get justice for my dog.
The only way that happens is if you become the turd in the punch bowl. You have got to be willing to be so unpopular, even among the parents in your circle who go, all right, I think you got your point across. Because it is only, let me tell you something. After the George Floyd incident where he died of an overdose, police officers across the country were shown to be pulling up on scenes and refusing to engage if it was a black assailant, black suspect, because they were so afraid of being sent to prison for life if they have to restrain someone who has a drug overdose. I'm telling you, the racial overtones in a case like this, that school hopes this thing goes away. The only way you're ever going to get any semblance of justice is to make yourself such an ass and such a thorn in their side that they have to confront this publicly, or they have to prove you wrong. They have to show that something happened that you say didn't. But you can't deny that he beats the snot out of her, no matter what the terms are. No. I mean, I've heard every angle. You can't deny he beats the snot out of this little girl. So she's a freshman.
And not once did she swing. Yeah, she's a freshman.
And he is what?
No. He's a freshman too, but I don't know how old he is. I went up there and the school would give me I couldn't even get a copy of they wrote a citation. Brooklyn has to go to court for disorderly conduct for this incident.
Danny,
and
hear me very clearly. I am not a person who believes in using our court system to resolve conflict until the system refuses to fix it themselves. Get yourself the most aggressive lawyer and sue them to kingdom come. Demand every document, put every kid under oath, put every teacher under oath, every internal communication. You can get all this. Get every internal communication, because I guarantee you that assistant principal emailed one of the teachers and said, hey, don't talk about this. We don't need Quanell X down here, or that little white girl. I guarantee you there are things in those emails. I would sue that school. I would sue the kids' parents. I would sue that teacher. I would make them a living hell until every scrap of evidence came forward and we knew every detail of how this was handled and covered up. If you think that you're going to win this case on the strength and conviction of your character and being a father, I got news for you. You'll blow your brains out sad. Because they're never going to help you. They're never going to help you.
No, I'm not that naive. I mean, I've got some people piling up here willing to help me already, and I will not stop. I will not stop.
I'm in the business. It's this. I deal with this day in and day out, and I'm here to tell you, you are not going to get relief. They're not going to willingly help you or do the right thing. The only way they do that is when shame and fear and money and professional. I wouldn't stop until I had them fired. I wouldn't stop until I had every shred of evidence and every person involved, their lives destroyed. Yep. You can't allow people to do this. This is what Black Lives Matter does. This is what Quanell X does. This is why they win all the time and people like you get screwed. I'm just telling you.
Well, this is... I understand, and I agree with you, but this is a sexual harassment problem, is what this is, and they're, like you said, they have not cooperated with me at all, and they've made it as hard as possible. I've gone to the KISD police station 3 times now, trying to get a copy of the citation, any information, a police report. They keep denying me, and
you're going to have to get a lawyer. You're going to have to get a lawyer. Yeah. I would have the Katy police chief living in fear of my lawyer. I would get a lawyer who is filing every document possible and every day giving a press release, a press conference. I would make this the most high-profile case. You look at this kid that stabbed a white kid in the chest, and he's wanted for. And they catch him for murder. It's right. There's no doubt he did it. He's going to prison for the rest of his life. They have flipped the switch on this thing. He has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. He got his bond dropped from $1 million to $250,000, and the whole thing has turned the other direction. And the victim's family is saying, "What just happened?" I'm telling you, nobody is going to do the right thing. I don't want you to think I'm mad at you. I'm frustrated by the system here, and it riles me up. I'm telling you, I would go nuclear on this, and I would. Anybody that knows me know I would. I would have a lawyer, and we would be, everything we were doing would be in the news that evening. All right, we want to see every document you reviewed. We want to know who reviewed it. We want the video put into the public record. I would not stop. I would show no mercy. And you know what you'll do? You won't solve your problem. You won't bring back your child's own innocence. But what you will do is, the next little girl that gets the hell beat out of her by a young punk, that school will say, uh-oh, let's do the right thing this time. Because they won't do the right thing. They will not. They're incapable of it.
They've done everything but the right thing. The school board or the KISD even sent out an email telling any parents that have a copy of the video to erase it.
Of course. Yeah, there again. Destroy the evidence. Danny, hang in there, bud. I wish you the best of luck. I'm sorry if my wife says I seem like I'm yelling at her when actually I'm just advocating on her behalf. But I would get me the meanest, toughest Tony Busby kind of lawyer, and I would make hell out of their lives till they did the right thing.
The Michael Berry Show.